The new Haunted Mansion movie teaser has been released, and it has a lot of Easter eggs from the attractions. Let's analyze them. The first one is the gates. These have the same style as the veranda and the ones at Disneyland. The second one is the Haunted Mansion itself, which now looks a lot like the ones at the parks, and it is even oriented in the same way. Number 3 is the door, which is exactly the same as one of the corridor of doors, with the snake latch from Rolly Crump. Number 4 is the bride's portrait, which I assume it's Constance, though she has the veil in front of her face, looking a lot like the beating heart bride, which died before the wedding even took place, hence the veil covering her face. Number 5 is the bride again, which now appears in her ghostly form and apparently with the veil covering her face, again looking more like the beating heart bride. Easter egg number 6 has 2 for 1. The most obvious is the armor that chases the family, which is like the character that guards the endless hallway. But true fans will also notice another Easter egg behind them. That's right, Miss April December's portrait, placed at an important place if you ask me. Number 7 is a little bit big. First we have the 2 staring busts, then we have the hatbox ghost moving at the end of the hallway, and the trunk similar to the ones in the attic next to the main character here in the scene. Number 8 could be the ghost host himself in this portrait, with his characteristic wide eye and his axe and his menacing look. He even has a similar hairstyle to the Mark Davis's portrait. Number 9 are the gargoyles from the stretching room. This room loses its windows and doors suddenly, and we're left to see what becomes of this room and as it turns into the stretching room. Number 10 looks like the endless hallway, since there seems to be no end, and it also appears after one of the characters says the house plays tricks on those in it. Number 11 is a hat, but I think this has something to do with the hatbox ghost. A ghostly hat appears in the head of one of the characters, and we can connect this to the hatbox ghost himself. Number 12 is the hatbox ghost himself. You can see him attracting his hatbox that has its head inside. He looks a bit angry. This is the first apparition we ever had of the hatbox ghost in a movie. Unlucky number 13 seems to be the hatbox ghost's cane, being held by one of the characters. Next, we have some stretching room portraits such as the tightrope girl and Alexander Nitrikhov, and the stretching room itself stretching for us. The 15th Easter egg is at the library, where we can see Aunt Lucretia's busts right behind the character. Next, we have Constance coming from an upstairs room, which I presume must be the attic. And I know it is Constance because of the white dress, menacing attitude, and that the scene right after that one has an axe in it. We have the grandfather clock next with the 13th hour at the top. Next we have the organist with its ghostly banshees coming out of it. Interestingly, I can see that the bed where he places his notes on, similar to the one in the ride, and the wooden panels in the wall are exactly like the ones in the ride, which at least tells me that the art direction department really tried to stick to the ride's look. Also, as a side note, you can see a ghostly lady intently listening to the organ. Is she just a ballroom dancer or a love interest of the organist? Next, we have what I think it's a flashback of the mansion back in its glorious days in the 19th century. 2 butlers open the doors to receive a strange-looking lady. You can see the front gardens are green, meaning this is definitely back in the 19th century. I believe this to be Madame Leota being called by one of the original owners to help them with the first signs of the house being haunted. And also there were news saying that Jamie Lee Curtis was going to be playing Madame Leota, and you can obviously see this is Jamie Lee Curtis with a very weird looking suit, which I think just leaves us to think this is Madame Leota. Speaking of Leota, in one of the following scenes we see Danny DeVito. Could this be Madame Leota? Also, this character right here, She appears a lot after Madame Leota is presented in the trailer. I don't know if that's her familiar from many years after, and she could be some sort of little Leota. I don't know. That could be a possibility. So that's all the things I could spot. Did you find anything else? Are you excited for this movie? Please let me know in the comment section. If you want to know more about Haunted Mansion characters, please like and subscribe and take a look at the other videos. Well, that has been all for now. Rest in peace, and I really want to know your opinions about the teaser trailer. What do you think about the characters, and what things did you see that I did not? I'll see you all a little later.